everybody else wants to do. So if you have this particular mindset throughout the day, the world becomes a more favorable place. However, if you look at the challenges, if you look at whatever detriments are you're faced with as the end of the world, then you don't understand this energy. So I'm just going to try to explain this energy a little bit more further. So as we see, the moon is in the second decan of sidereal Taurus, and it is squaring the sun conjunct Neptune, and it is also squaring Mercury retrograde. Squares are challenges within themselves. First quarter moons are challenges within themselves, but we have a favorable aspect because the moon is aligned to the Milky Way. If you see like that foggy material against the black of the sky, that's actually the Milky Way. So that's enough favorable energy that we could deal with any challenges that we face. A lot of our challenges is based upon this society and teaching us that everything is singular, everything is individual, and so once we're in the space of individuality, then we don't think about the community, we don't think about sharing, we don't think about anything like that, and we get so caught up in our own personal world. So this is a whole block to Aquarius, the singular individual life. Aquarius rules the 11th house. Aquarius is social, and this is a part of life. No human being is born in a vacuum. So a lot of times, if you are having trouble, it's based upon the fact that you have no ability to share and have positive experiences with human beings. Now, a lot of times, people this was never even a thought. We've evolved from tribal living, we've evolved from tight-knit communities up into 2020 where everybody is completely isolated, which creates the tension of the sun going into sidereal Aquarius. And people who give to the community, people who have an actual modality to give to people, they're not feeling this energy in a negative sense. They are actually being emboldened and empowered to continue on their message. But if you are simply thinking about how your life is and personal this and I've been through this and such did me wrong and I gotta get back at this person for this, that, and the third, then you are not in the Aquarian age. You are not tied into this Aquarius energy. However, one could easily tap in by simply thinking of a way to give. Me and Dreamwise had a beautiful talk a couple days ago on the Friday version of the Tapped In, where he was speaking about giving away energy. And giving away energy as a form of charity, as a form of philanthropy, as a way of energy exchange, because the law of attraction is if I give 1, I get 10 back. But the problem with the law of attraction is that people don't give shit. They have no intention to give anything. They're simply thinking about how I could get what I can get from you. So one has to be very mindful in this Aquarian age, dealing with particular moon squares. The moon being in Taurus, because the moon is exalted in Taurus, can feel like a game show. It can feel like you're on Jeopardy. In the mere fact you're on Jeopardy, you're going to win something because you're there. They'll give you lovely parting gifts or whatever the case may be, but you have the opportunity to win the grand prize based on how many questions you answer. So a question is a challenge, right? Doesn't mean it's the end of the world. However, if you know the answer to the question, then you answer it right, you get the prize. So that's the energy. It's not to say that the universe poses you questions and now it's over. No, answer the question. Rise up to the occasion. Play the game. Take the challenges. Because if you're able to answer the questions, you're dealing with the grand prize. You're dealing with the victory. You're dealing with success. The tarot card that rules the second decan of Taurus is the Six of Discs. And the Six of Discs title of that card is success. It's the unification of all of your supplies, all of your energy, all of your resources into something to manifest something. And when you say that sounds too difficult, you are God. You are a creator. So the whole purpose of God is to create. Therefore, you understand the issue or the problem with this energy if you're not creating. And not creating for yourself, creating for humanity as a whole, because it's square into the Aquarius energy. Aquarius rules the 11th house. Very simple stuff, and if a person is like confused about it, be sure to call in. Be sure to call in, and we could talk about it. Because you can't tell me I'm giving unconsciously without no expectations and I'm taking care of myself, but I'm still confused. You wouldn't never say that. You will only say, I'm being selfish, I'm being restrictive, I'm not dealing with the collective, I'm in my own bag, and I'm in my own shit, and I can't figure it out. You got to see the difference between those two vibrations. If you created this reality, one can't complain about this reality. And this is the inner thing that we're talking about. The inner thing of realizing and finding out that you are God, or God lives within. So, the title of this video is to remember that you create your reality. Because the fact of the matter is that you forgot that you create your reality. You forgot that you created your reality. This whole entire shit is your creation that led you up to this point. And now you have to imagine that wherever you're trying to get to is based upon what you set now. Because when you reference karma, you're referencing a past or previous intention that's come to manifest. And since you don't realize the power of manifesting your reality, then one views whatever you create, if you don't have the knowledge that you're creating it, through cursing, through hexing, through hating, through misery and things of that nature. Of course, you're going to feel that way because you create your reality. Everything in this world has been created by a creative intelligence, and that creative intelligence is what we call consciousness. Consciousness in the human body or the ego is completely separate. However, what we are, what we perceive, is the mere enlightenment of God. Therefore, we are gods. Therefore, we are creators. Therefore, when it comes to our reality, it's our responsibility. My brother. And then, say for instance, you are going through something. The best way to deal with this is to realize that you're creating what you're going through, as opposed to giving it away to somebody else and then hoping that they do something about your reality. That's a square. That's a challenge. When you think somebody is creating your reality for you. When you think somebody is creating your reality for you, right? That's a challenge within itself. When you mad at your baby daddy, when you mad at your ex-husband, when you mad at such and such, this, that, and the third for doing this, that, and the third, you have no responsibility in the fact that you are God and you are a creator. So I want people to come on these lives and be reminded of who they are. Because there's not going to be a thing outside of this conversation that's going to remind you who you are, with no fluff, no nothing extra. Just your mere awareness, consciousness, and perception gives you the power of God. And what seeds are you sowing at this particular moment that will manifest into the life that you want to lead now? Because things grow, things mature, things become thoughts become things. So what thoughts are you holding? What resonance are you holding? Is it that of a creator, or is it that of a weakling? The moon conjunct Aldebaran is a royalty, divinity, acceptance. So if you were born on the 2nd or the 3rd of March, you are royalty, no doubt about it. You were born on August 23rd, 22nd, 24th, you are royalty, no doubt about it. Now it's time to deal with the awareness of such. 385-799-9560. Sorry for the mic difficulties at the beginning of this. Hopefully, I'm working with my mic to get it in the right levels. But you know how that goes. Or maybe you don't know how that goes, but getting your settings right is a bit. Beware of your own thoughts, Mad Titan, because your thoughts create your reality. And the longer you hold the resonance throughout particular turmoil and challenges, if you remember your intention through challenges, if you remember your intention through turmoil, then that intention kicks up. It raises up. And it transfers over to the full moon. Generally, we set our intentions and forget about it, and then deal with the challenge, and then focus in on the challenge, focus on the difficulty, focus on the distraction, and not focus on the reality of our intention and living through intention. So 385-799-9560. I know y'all got something to say. Tap in. Because it's all good and well when your intentions is clicking and everything is popping. Oh, I'm manifesting this. Everything is going great. I'm so happy that everything is everything. And then challenge. Oh, I'm just this wretched old thing that can't manifest. And you start doubting yourself, start talking shit to yourself, and forgetting all about the fact that you had this whole garden. You see one rat, you see one squirrel in your garden, and you done gave up. My thing is, get some cats, get some dogs, find some pesticide and things of that nature. Get a wired fence and think of that. Like, protect your assets, protect your energy. See, the problem with manifesting and the problem with magical abilities, people don't protect them. But the same way as people don't protect their energy, they protect their money. It's either in the safe, it's either in the bank, right? And if the bank was a bank that just gave your energy away for free, that's like having friends that gossip and talk about you behind your back, then your money loses value because people are just picking off on your energy and things of that nature. So the most important thing to this is to protect your intention. Put some security around your intention. Put some protection around yourself as you go through the day. Understand that you're creating your day through your thoughts. So if a negative thing presents itself throughout the day, realize that you're creating it. Alter that thought in real time, and then change the vibration in real time. It's like if I'm telling you that the road is going to be rocky, that doesn't mean you're not going to get to where you're going to get to. That means you got to be a little bit more aware and be a little bit more on the swivel. Be more on the pivot. Swerve left, swerve right. You know what I'm saying? Go up, go down. You know, do all different types of maneuvering. But if I tell you it's an easy breeze on the country road, you know what I'm saying? That's one vibration, but there's also rocky roads. So understand that rocky road is still going to get you to your destination. You just have to be somewhat more aware, and that's what moon squares present. That's what a quarter moon presents. So I'm just speaking from an astrological perspective. You might be easy breezy cover girl, and that's perfectly fine, but I always want to be mindful to the people that might be struggling with particular energies, because my work came through struggle and realization. So throughout the week, throughout the day, the purpose of these videos is to awaken human beings to their soul, and then also deal with the mechanics of their soul. And when we reference the soul, we're referencing all that is good, all that is perfect, all that is immortal. When we reference humanity, we reference all that's confused, all that's lost, and all that's trapped in karma of reincarnation, death, and rebirth. When we understand this energy, we rise to our divinity and we achieve moksha. Moksha is the liberation from karma, the liberation from rebirth, the liberation from reincarnation. And this is our true birthright. Unless you like being stuck down here and stuck in confusion, it's important to get to this birthright. It's important to get to your truth. So 385-799-9560. Don't be scared. Shout out to DreamWise. Shout out to Say Tafari. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out Mad Titan. I appreciate that donation. Shout out Straight Panther. Shout out Spiritual Butterfly. Who else is in the chat? You know, shout out some questions. You know, we still here for a little bit longer. Because I know there's questions. Is what I'm saying resonate, or is everything like crystal clear and I'm the only one, the energy is all wrong? Like, what's going on? What's up with the family today? I'm gonna let y'all get y'all thoughts together, and I'm gonna shoot this little commercial real quick.
Guess who's Bizak? ColombianExchange.com. The freshest drip on the internet. Shirts with a spell is now live. Go to Colombian Exchange with an X.com or click the link in the description. The new line, last place. The last shall be first, but for a limited time only. 20% for all subscribers with the code 2020. Colombian Exchange is back. Get there now.
Another thing that I'm about to start doing is I'm gonna start to upload these lives on Spotify podcasts, so you'll be able to listen to these lives or these transmissions outside of YouTube, because I realize that YouTube take a lot of people batteries and things of that nature, and you know, when it comes to like listening to stuff, I feel like Spotify and things of that nature would be a good modality. So I'm gonna set that up today, and I'll have the links for that in the description for subsequent videos. So shout out to I'm Just Being. How's everything going? J Davila 222. You know, it's good to be on point, but it's also good to get some feedback from the family. And I know people be kind of weary about calling in. They think I'm gonna bite them, but you know, I don't bite at all.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
You tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Who might I be speaking with?
Peace, Hood Mystic. This is Charlotte. Well, you know me on YouTube as Miss Love and Life. One Miss Love and Life. But my real name is Charmaine. How are
Charmaine.
you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well this morning.
That's good.
I didn't get to catch the whole live.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking care of two teenagers. I have a son that's 19 and a daughter that's 16. And so this morning's been great.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to tap in and say, I've been tapped in with you for a while. I got your book.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to physically work on the book Moon Manipulating. I'm in school right now.
Sure.
So a lot of my time is critically taken in school, which I do want to like allow myself some time to get into your book, but I haven't been able to do that.
So let me suggest that that book is a book that you want to utilize as you go to sleep. And I can understand being busy, but the design of that book and to actually work work that book is to be found when you are not busy. So when you go to sleep, as soon as you wake up, you can utilize that book, okay? And that'll be a book for really setting intentions and monitoring your intentions and dealing with your natural power. Your natural power is when you go to sleep, but if you can kind of manipulate that or deal with that before you go to sleep and before you start your day, you might want to have an intention to stop being so busy, right? And you could set those intentions and empower yourself through the night, empower your subconscious mind through the night, and then double down on that before you get out of bed. Today is not going to be so busy. I'm going to have some time to relax, and just have the power and the wisdom and the wherewithal to trust that, you know, your subconscious mind is a little bit more powerful than your conscious mind. And if you apply particular questions and things of that nature to your nighttime energy, you're able to manifest at a higher clip. So give it a try. That's all I'm suggesting, that you give it a try. And I understand that you're busy, but me, Shireen Hancho, we designed this book for the most busiest person on the planet. You know, we imagine that people are busy. Yeah.
Okay, and I do have one more question. Over the weekend, I was just thinking, because I know overall, this really since 12 years old, I know I've been doing magic. My fiance, I buried him on 7/7. He actually died 7/1. So since then and before then, I've always dreamed of his death. I saw where he was buried at before he died. Several different things I can astral project. But my question is, with all of that being said, because I could just talk probably a long time, but do you think that aha moments are like natural downloads in the universe? And why I say that, like aha, is because it's something that you've been told before, but you heard it in a different way this time. So would you consider an aha moment like a download, and not an aha moment given by somebody else, but that you recognize, like, oh, okay? Like, do you think that those are like downloads to inform you that you're on your right path or wrong path?
Of course, exactly. And then when it comes to like energy of, so today, well, tomorrow, I've had like my high school sweetheart. She is born March 3rd. And she passed away on March 3rd, 2011. So there's like 3/3/11, and you reference like 7/7/7. So we're in alignment with that particular story or that particular narrative. So I can always advise you and speak to you, because it's more of like, you think you have a conscious reason for what you called in for, but the reality is that you called in from an unconscious reason. And the reason why I say that is because I wanted to reference my particular story or my particular energy of the day from a close, intimate level, but I decided not to. But you called in anyways to speak to the energy of the transition lover, and it speaks specifically to the energy of the day, because Aldebaran represents that opposite sexual energy that we cannot have. And so the reality is that we have to come to terms with that sexual energy. And I know I'm probably going off key and off center to your question, but I apologize for that.
No, I'm following you. No, okay. I'm following you. Go ahead.
Okay. And so the reality of our transition lovers is that they are more closer to us in death than they were closer to us in life. And more so, this is our energy showing up in an altered form, and we might look at it in a way of a person with a family that has transitioned and the sadness and all of that, but the reality is this is an aspect of our soul that showed up made themselves aware, and then transition to let us know that they are always with us. And the intimate connection that we establish on Earth through copulation is the actual energy that we need to establish a eternal link with celestial energy, an eternal link with our soul. So there is no point in time of forgetting. There's always a point in time of remembrance of our soul and how powerful it is. It's able to manifest, show up to us, love us, nurture us, care for us, and then pass on, but still be in alignment and in right exact in moments and times, and show up when we need them to show up.
That's dope, because I can still feel that he shows up, like I say, through the dead, but he still shows up. It's so weird, because I'll get a call for money, and he's been gone for almost 13 years. So it's like he still shows up, like, boom, I'm here. Like, that's weird that you said that. It'll still show up, but I wasn't, yeah.
It is weird. It is weird, but, you know, the truth is always stranger than fiction, it seems like, you know. And it's so interesting that you call and you have that perspective, because it's such in alignment with what I was feeling and what I was trying to process. And, you know, thank you for calling in and presenting those questions.
You're welcome.
But go ahead.
You're really on point, so I appreciate you too, and I appreciate your channel. Your insight is real deep. Yeah.
I try. Thank you, though.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And I will be getting a reading before this week is out from you. I just had a reading recently, and it was fulfilled. I got what I wanted, but the way you tap in on a different level, I want you to, you know, see my chart and, you know, just help me on a higher elevation with my spiritual journey. And so that's a good thing, as someone like yourself on YouTube that I have never met, that I will be extending to say, I need you to help me in my life. So that's a very powerful thing, because I don't use my French F with people like on YouTube, because you know, the energy, you never know what you do behind closed doors. And I can tell that when this live goes off or when you finish, you're still the same person, you know. So bless up to that, and I will definitely be in contact with you before this week is out. And I just look forward to continuing to build and grow. Thank you for your channel.
Sure. And with the readings, I want to just say the spiritual connection and figuring things out and helping people out is something that has been happening. So, you know, I always extend that offer, but, you know, whenever you find the time and the energy and the resources to, you know, schedule, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, you know, pure spiritual channel, pure spiritual insight, and help you understand yourself at a spiritual level. And I don't really go beyond that, and I don't go under that. That's kind of where I'm at with this thing.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll continue to support you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too.
All right. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So let me just it's a couple callers on the line. Don't hang up, callers. I'll be right with you, but it was a question on the chat. Megan asks if our squares are our biggest qualities or our best qualities. Absolutely. When we look at our astrology chart and we simply focus on the squares and rectify those squares or adjust to those squares, we are better in our lives 1,000%. Generally, when we look at our charts, we look at the favorable stuff and we simply ignore the squares, we ignore the challenges. But part of this is understanding our squares and understanding our challenges, and this is what makes us our best selves. So absolutely, our squares are power points in our chart. 317, you tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Who might I be speaking with?
This is Natasha. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Natasha?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. How's everybody today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm trying to, stay focused. I am staying focused.
Sure.
You were talking about protection. and I'm doing as much as I can to try to protect myself, but I feel like I'm not doing enough because 2 nights ago, like 3 different energies just all hit me at once, and they kind of shifted my energy a little bit. When I went to sleep, when I woke up the next morning, it took me a minute to get up, and I had to collect myself. And then again, I met somebody else, and I got a question, like, is it okay to call somebody out on their shit, as being like a magician? Because I called him out on it just so he knows that I'm onto him. Like,
So
what do you think about that?
a thing that I do, and this is just my personal experience, and then let me know what you think. So I'm gonna have a personal experience, but I feel like it's tied into what you're going through. So I was living with my aunt one time, and my aunt is wild. She like in the streets for real, you know what I'm saying? So she was like doing all types of crazy stuff, like having drug dealers come post up and do all types of stuff. And mind you, I had my kids with me. I had 2 small children, and so I would be telling her, like, that's not cool. We would argue, we would fight, but it's her house and she gonna do what she want to do. So for protecting my children, what I did was bound her energy. I bound her shit, you know what I'm saying? I wrote a sigil. My intention was to bind her, and not bind her in a negative way, but bind her from hurting me and my children. And I know that it worked because I know that it worked because the same night I did that, she just woke up in the middle of the night tripping, like she was feeling like she couldn't do what she wanted to do, and that made her really, really angry. But I was just like, already bound you, like you can't hurt me or my children, and your actions will no longer affect me and my children in a negative way. I don't care what you do, I don't care what you say, I don't care how you feel. You can be mad, but I bound your ass, you feel me? So it's more of confidence in your magic, and then also seeing negative shit and doing spiritual things to protect yourself.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of that, because I was doing that back in December, but it just completely slipped my mind. I got so much going on. But yeah, people are just going crazy right now.
And that's a fact.
And so, next week is daylight savings time, so everything's going to be accelerated forward.
Indeed.
So I'm trying to get it.
And so if you have intentions and you see people trying to block your intentions, even if it's just to live a stress-free, positive life, bind their ass. You know what I'm saying? Stop them. Because whenever it comes to people and energy, if you allow them to run roughshod on your energy by not protecting your energy, by stopping them, because it's like having your doors unlocked and shit. Spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can just walk in, put their goddamn feet on your goddamn couch, and you know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, lock that motherfucking door. You know what I'm saying? Like, get them restraining orders in place. Like, if I see you in my dreams, bruh, it's over for you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm thinking about you too much, it's over for you, because at a real point in time, when we deal with people, right, especially men, right, if they not giving, they ain't about, like, not giving in real life, you know what I'm saying, not giving in an imaginary sense, good morning beautiful, all of that shit, you feel me? If they not giving in real terms, then they probably trying to take, and you know what I'm saying? And it's just you got to be so mindful and so stringent on, if his hands is not out in a providing gesture, then he ain't about shit, right? And I don't know why, I don't even know why I'm even saying this, but I feel like that's something good to hear.
It's all masculine energy, that's why. Because there are 4 different masculine energies trying to attack me. It's not even just adults. And, this morning, I had kind of drifted off a little bit, into meditation or whatever, not on purpose. But it's like, I thought I had my room protected. I really thought I did, but somebody's little kids done walk through my room. So I got to get myself together. And I'm so glad I called, because I needed this information.
Do you got a cat?
No, I've been supposed to get one. Like, I keep telling myself, Spirit keeps telling me to get one, but I haven't.
Oh man, my cat do damage. You feel me? I wake up in the middle of the night, I be hearing them like you know what I'm saying? Like a cat is like a goddamn like it's so much spiritual protection. You know what I'm saying? That you know a motherfucker think twice. Like a dog protects your house. Like if you have like some big ass pit bulls, that'll prevent from people from robbing you. But a cat, that's the same thing as having like 15 pit bulls spiritually. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I got this statue, a cat statue, but nah, I gotta go. I think I might just go get a cat today.
Go to the shelter, you know, a cat gonna jump out to you, cat gonna damn near jump out the goddamn cage, and you gonna be like, okay, you align with my energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be real simple.
You just reminded me. So I went to one of these crystal stores the other day, and you know, my intention was to get a pendulum. So I walked over to the case, and like I swear, all the pendulums just started just swinging back and forth. So I didn't even get one because the store was closing. But like, what do you have to say about that?
You said
there was like 20 of them. They just started swinging back and forth. So I couldn't actually pick one out.
Oh yeah, so that's always like, so that's like to me, and let me know, it's a clear cognizance that you produce, and you just don't trust your clear cognizance. And clear cognizance is the psychic ability to know, and knowing a pendulum is like, I don't know, so let me ask this damn rock to answer some shit that I already fucking know, right? So when you walk up into the store, all the pendulums start shaking, they fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? They fucking with you. They playing with your mind. Like, look at this mug. Like, they start going all types of ways. Your ass to get a pendulum. Your ass would be confused as hell because you don't need no pendulum. Your ass don't need no cards. You don't need no crystals. You don't need nothing. You just need to trust in your magical abilities. Does this resonate?
Definitely. I appreciate all your information. I was going. Oh, that's my last question for my birth chart. So my mom, one of her husbands adopted me, so I'm having a really big issue with getting my birth time because nobody will give me any information. I don't even know where to start. You know what hospital to call. So can you read a chart? You know, without the time.
Okay. Do you have any particular body part that hurts more normal than not?
My hips always hurt.
Your hips always hurt. Okay. So I want to ask you what year you was born, but I don't want to. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine.
No, I would rather not because.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I kind of felt that.
I mean,
so,
I can email you.
Yeah, email me. But all right, that's irrelevant too. So you said your hips generally hurt. So if you say your hips generally hurt, that would identify with Sag rising. Now your rising sign is how people see you. So when I'm asking you questions, it's either yes or no. People generally see you as the answer to all of their questions. Like they feel like you Miss Cleo or something, and they just always asking you questions that you don't necessarily know the answer to, but you give them the answer like you know the answer, and that's kind of your reputation, and that's kind of how people really treat you. They tend to only reach out to you when they need something or when it can particularly benefit them, and they don't necessarily know how to give to you because they think you the person that got it all.
Yes.
Does that resonate at all? Okay, so that would make you a Sagittarius rising because Sagittarius rules the hips. So whenever you think about your energy and how people perceive you, and then your constant unawareness of your rising sign would indicate that you constantly find yourself in circumstances and relationships where you giving way more and not receiving the same shit that you giving. And when this happens, your hips is gonna hurt. So if your hips is hurting now, you're probably in an unhealthy relationship. But generally, when you in relationships where you find that nurturing and giving, and it's like it's equally matched, you might not have no pain in your body. It might be like the opposite, where you just feel fucking great, like somebody is giving to you. Fair to say, no?
Yeah. Fair. So can I schedule an actual reading?
Yeah, you could go to hoodmystic.com and it's a little button that says schedule a reading, and all my prices and availability is all there. And you could, it's real
Yes,
easy.
I was gonna do it, but I just didn't know like if you would be okay with it without the time.
Yeah, I generally can like if you had headaches, I would know your rising sign. If your arms was all, you had shoulder pain, I know your rising sign. I basically can identify astrology to the body. I'm not bragging or nothing. It's just a study. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can try, and if a person is like, yeah, that resonates with me. Every time I do that, a person always is like, yeah, that's me. So to me is right, and to the people who, and there's no way we can really know if we don't have a birth time, but we're just, going off of what you say and then what resonates with you. So yeah, we can definitely do it.
Because I definitely need all this information, going forward. Especially, I'm trying to get it done, before next week. So I'm gonna schedule something, hopefully today.
Sure.
Tonight.
Sure.
So
I'm listening. Sorry.
What'd you say?
I was listening. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, okay. Nope, I don't want to hold the line because I know there's other callers, but man, I appreciate all the information because I definitely have to get these down cells together.
Sure. We can talk about it all too, so just email me and we can just get it in.
Okay. All right, I appreciate it, and peace to everybody.
All right, you have a great day.
You too.
Peace out. Bye-bye.
I'm still on the chat.
504, you tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Who might I be speaking with?
Oh, this shit
What up, K-Dog?
What's up? I'm cool, man.
I was wondering when you was gonna call back. Yeah, I'm good. How you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah, man. I've been listening in. I called the chapter with you today. Most everything you said was on point. Most definitely. I know I realized probably about, I say, a year ago, I used to be doing stuff, and I put my all into it, put my energy into it, and I stay positive about it, and then it might not pan out the way I wanted it to. Mm-hmm. And, I try to pull on it for a couple of days, and then it'll hit me, I get drove, get a little irritated, get a little, you still hear me on that line?
Yeah, I'm here, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get a little drove or whatever, and then things just kind of go left for me, and I get down in spirits, and then from there, I realized that every time that would happen, I feel like I had to reset, like I would have to kind of start all the way over again. So what I've been doing lately is, staying positive and being grateful. I've been on a real gratitude frequency, and stuff has been coming to me. It's been working out for me. And for example, 2 days ago, I had drove my sister to the doctor, and my car tried to overheat on me. I didn't trip on it. I worked on it, and I got that right. I got to where I needed to get her, and then once we got there, my passenger door wouldn't shut no more. So I'm just trying to shut the door, it wouldn't close on me for nothing in the world. And usually I kind of get bad nerves, get a little irritated and stuff like that. I was cool. I was like, I'm gonna just work on it. I'm not gonna trip. Got it to close. My sister opened it back up so it wouldn't close on me again. So I worked on it for hours. I was in that dust. I worked on it for about 2 hours. Could not get it to close for nothing in the world. And some people came by, they tried to help me with it, that didn't work, so we ended up ratcheting, putting a ratchet strap on it to keep the door closed just so I could get back to where I live or whatever. And then I was like, well, I was trying to get out during the day, so because my light had went out the day before, and I had to get her to the doctor early, so I couldn't change that. So I was like, boom, I'm gonna try to get back home during the day so I don't have to deal with the police and none of that stuff. Went to Walmart, tried to get the light, fixed the light wasn't working. Got another light, put that in, that light wasn't working. I was like, forget it, I'm gonna just have to ride with my high beams. But I stayed positive the whole day, and then later that night, I was gonna go to Atlanta, start driving to Atlanta, had my high beams on. I'm like, let me cut these off, because these people keep flashing them. pulled over and I cut the regular lights on, it looked like my light was working. So I looked, get out the car, light working. I'm like, okay. And then the next day, I was gonna trade my car in. I was like, man, you know, I'm probably just gonna head and cop something else just in case, you know, da 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 da. So that got put on hold. My brother was like, nah, son, you don't need to do that, whatever. So I called Ford. I was like, I just get the door fixed. I'll pay for it. I called Ford. They said, man, I got a recall on the passenger door, and they're gonna fix it for free. I'm like, I said, man, okay, I see it's working. You know, I was tested. I stayed positive, and it all came together for me. So that's been the frequency I've really been on. And even just being more giving, you know, I see people, and I'm like, they don't even have to ask me. I feel like, you know, you kind of in a little situation. I'm a lookout. If I lose something, I'm not tripping on it because it's not really a lot of stuff. Really has just been coming together for me, you know.
That's a beautiful story, man, and that's exactly what I was trying to allude to, what I was speaking to today. So you really articulated it through your actual life, you understand? So that's going to help a lot of people, because a lot of people might go through little fickle situations, allow them fickle situations to pull your vibration down. But if you stay on a particular frequency, a test don't mean it's the end of it, a question don't mean it's the end of it. But if you answer correctly and stay aligned to that frequency, you know, life will metamorphosize to your desire, because it's like trickster type of energy. It can't really win if you realize it's a trick, right? And I feel like you hold a lot of resonance in that trickster energy vibe. Just speaking to you, just seem like you can you a trickster in some form or fashion, but in the most divine way.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, they be telling me I'm an asshole. Like I don't really be taking stuff serious. Like yesterday, you remember last time we talked? I told you I was talking to a girl or whatever. So yeah. I reached out to her, all of that stuff. I was messing with her. She like, you need to grow up, Kendrick. I just laughed. I said, I guess you're still on that frequency. She's still mad or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to me, it was funny. I'm like, it's all love with me, you know. You know, I'm not holding. I don't hold on and stuff like that. I really don't. I don't trip on it too much, you know.
Yeah, she'll come around. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I said too. What you call it? I got a question for you. It's off subject, most definitely.
Sure.
Well, I guess I'll go with what is it? It's a ceremony. Hold on, let me look at what the name of it is. It's, and I have been knew about the plants, but it is ayahuasca. I don't know how to exactly pronounce it. Ayahuasca, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a ceremony. Now I had been hearing about stories and people taking it, and you know it kind of helping them. And you know I told you last time I got a lot of power in me and chaotic energy, and I know like you was telling me, once I start getting back in front, the fires I used to be in front of and my candles and all the other stuff we ran, you know, I kind of be able to release some of the immense amount of energy and power within me. Mm-hmm. But that ceremony is going on. My birthday is on the 5th. It might have had a birthday Thursday, and that's going on the 6th and the 7th. But I really was feeling like that was something that I wanted to do. I don't know if you've experienced that. You know, I'm sure you'll be open to talk about it. But sure. You know, what's your thoughts on it?
Sure. Like, so for me, if it comes into your alignment and it's a desire, then that desire and alignment is right and exact. If you have an opportunity and then that opportunity is met with a desire, then it's something that ayahuasca has to show you. And when we talk about ayahuasca, we talk about LSD, we talk about shrooms, or anything that's going to alter your consciousness. We're doing it to get outside of our conscious mind, to really have a conversation with our subconscious, because that's the deal, you know. But the whole, like, that's the positive side. The negative thing is that I see people get addicted to the actual whatever is happening, as opposed to taking down the lessons and moving forward. So they think that it's the ayahuasca, but it's always you. So no matter what you do in the realms of psychedelics, it's always going to be an aspect of you that's showing up and an aspect of you that's speaking to you. The idea is to really take heed and then move forward with that information, because there's like, I had this opportunity where I got some shrooms, and I took the shrooms, and it was this fair. I went to this Asian fair or whatever, and it was mad cars, you know what I'm saying? There's mad people there, but right in the front, it was a parking space that was open, and I pulled up into the spot, and then I looked to the right, and the license plates had a Ganesha statue. So I was like, damn, like Ganesha opening the way for me and shit. So long story short, I walked through the fair or whatever, and it's like this metaphysical thing, and then I look at the statue, and Ganesha is this little Ganesha statue, and before I get to pick it up, the dude who owned this place, he give it to me and was like, this is you, this is a Buddha, you are a Buddha, and he started professing all of this spiritual stuff, and this is before I'm quote unquote woke or doing this YouTube thing or anything, you know what I'm saying? He like, you a healer, you gonna be doing this, you gonna be doing that, and you know what I'm saying? And he gave me the goddamn Ganesha statue. So for me, it was always okay when I'm having blockages and I want to remove obstacles, then I deal with that Ganesha energy, because that was the experience that I had on shrooms, that, you know, I can't really remove that shit, and it wasn't never even planned or nothing. So, you know, when you do ayahuasca, you'll be put onto some shit that's going to help you and aid you. So if it's in your alignment and you have that access to the ceremony, then take it. That's my personal suggestion.
Yeah, that's what I figured I was going to do. Make a move up to Atlanta this week, actually, or whatever. So, you know, and that just, it kind of fell through. I was like, my steps being most definitely aligned. Most definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all coming together for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And then my last thing, I guess, you spoke on transition levels. Now, I don't have any transition levels on transitioning from the physical, you know, to spiritual. But you know, just would that kind of be the same? Would I be dealing with the same energy during with a, I guess, still present lover? Because like I said, I end up reaching out to girl. I ain't reach out to her on a, you know, full level or nothing like that, but I kind of have been feeling compelled to for like I'd say about the past week. But I know I'm not extremely informed on Mercury retrograde, but they say, like, you know, past things come to test you to see, you know, say like old people reach out to you and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm dealing with that transition lover and the desire to, you know, reach back out on account of that, or if it's the Mercury, or if it's my soul, or what's what. But I was like, I'm a hope right now and kind of just wait and see what's up. So, but what you think on that?
So, definitely check out the article that I wrote, but within the article, there's a part where, because dealing with the moon at where it's at, and then dealing with Mercury retrograde, which it has some resonance with Mercury retrograde, this is definitely a point in time where lust presents itself as a phantom, as an illusion, and the warning is that don't follow your lust, follow your business. If the relationship is aligned with business and it's a nice even distribution of energy, then go for it. But if that relationship is like, you can sense like it ain't real, or lust is the number one modality that's leading you into it, that's an illusionary love fest. And then once Mercury goes direct and his energy moves forward, you will be like, damn, what the fuck was I thinking, type of deal. Because generally when lust is at the head of the thing, you're not thinking. So it's very important to really focus on your business, really focus on practical, honorable, integrity type of things, because these things are going to, reduce the stress, reduce the problems in the future. The seeds you plant now is going to grow and foster into something, and generally when you're dealing with an ex, you know what's going to manifest, and you might think it's going to be different, and maybe it is, but generally people don't change because it's a Mercury retrograde. They just change it for a momentary time, and then once it goes direct, they back to their normal selves, and then you like, damn, what did I get myself into? So that's that's what I think, but you ultimately, you know more than I know regarding the situation.
Nah, you don't point with that. I'm gonna stay to my business. I'm gonna fall in that trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely some lovers, past lovers and things of that nature coming into play, and not even lovers, but people that just want you to love them, but they don't necessarily want to love you. So be mindful of that.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, cool, man. That's definitely, man. It's good talking to you, Brian.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I enjoy when you call in, man. Give me them updates, bro. But definitely happy that you tapping in and you really ride that spiritual wave, and have fun with life. Enjoy your life, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get back online. Everybody take care. You too.
I appreciate you, J-Dog. Have a good one.
No problem. You too, bro.
Peace out. Y'all know that sound. That means that the end of this edition of Daily Energy Reading has subsided, and we're about to move on to the next phase, which takes place tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't be late. Tune in. We will start promptly at 8 a.m. and we will go through another build. So thanks for everybody who called in, for making this show great. Be sure to follow me on hoodmystic.com, Instagram, The Hood Mystic, so forth and so on. Links are in the description, the website, the webpage, or the article to what we talked about today. And then also